September 26, 1983. Imagine a world holding its breath, teetering on the absolute brink of nuclear annihilation. This isn't a movie script. This was reality. Deep inside a secret Soviet military bunker, a man sat staring at a screen that held the fate of millions in its glow. That man was Lieutenant Colonel Stanislav Petrov. The Cold War was at its peak. Tension between the United States and the Soviet Union was a tightly wound spring, ready to snap at the slightest touch. For Petrov, his shift as the duty officer at the Serpukhov 15 Command Center was supposed to be routine. But on this night, routine shattered into a million pieces. Suddenly, the silence was broken by a piercing alarm. Red lights flashed across the control panel. On the screen, a single, terrifying word appeared. Launch. The sophisticated Soviet satellite system, designed to be the nation's eyes in the sky, was reporting that the United States had just launched an intercontinental ballistic missile. The target? The Soviet Union. Military protocol was rigid, absolute, and designed for speed. There was no room for doubt. Petrov's duty was clear: verify the launch and immediately report it up the chain of command. If he did, the Soviet leadership would almost certainly initiate a full-scale retaliatory strike. The logic of mutually assured destruction meant that hesitation was not an option. Within minutes, thousands of nuclear warheads would be crisscrossing the globe. Cities would turn to ash. The world as we know it would cease to exist. As the alarm blared, another alert came in, then a third, a fourth, and a fifth. The system was now reporting 5 American missiles hurtling towards his homeland. The computer screen, a supposedly infallible source of data, was screaming that a nuclear attack was underway. Every light on the board confirmed it. His colleagues were in a state of panic, shouting, urging him to make the call. The pressure was unimaginable. But in the midst of this chaos, something felt wrong to Petrov. A seed of doubt took root in his mind. He was a trained analyst, a man of logic, and the scenario playing out in front of him just didn't add up. If the United States, the great adversary, was going to start a nuclear war, would they really begin with just 5 missiles? It seemed illogical. A first strike, to be effective, would be overwhelming. It would be a massive, all-out assault, with hundreds, if not thousands, of missiles, to cripple any chance of retaliation. 5 missiles felt tentative, almost nonsensical. He also knew the satellite system, called OCO, was new. It had been rushed into service and was known to have bugs. Was it possible that the machine was wrong? Was it possible that the most advanced technology of the era was making a catastrophic mistake? He had 2 choices. Follow the rules, trust the machine, and report the attack, likely starting World War III. Or, trust his gut, go against every single line of his training, and declare it a false alarm. He picked up the phone to his superiors. His heart was pounding in his chest. Every instinct trained into him by the military screamed to report the attack. But his own human intuition, his own reasoning, screamed louder. He made his decision. He reported to the high command that the system was malfunctioning. He told them it was a false alarm. Now came the hardest part, the waiting. For what felt like an eternity, Petrov and his team could do nothing but stare at their maps and wait. If he was wrong, Soviet radar installations would soon pick up the incoming missiles. If he was wrong, mushroom clouds would soon be blooming over Soviet cities. The weight of the world was on his shoulders. He later described the intensity of those minutes, knowing that the fate of civilization rested on his judgment call. The minutes ticked by, each one stretching into an agonizing hour. And then, nothing. The sky remained empty. The radars were silent. No explosions. No Armageddon. Petrov had been right. His gut feeling had saved the world. Later investigation revealed the truth. The high-altitude satellites had mistaken the reflection of sunlight off clouds for the engine. Flare of intercontinental ballistic missiles? A simple, bizarre atmospheric anomaly had almost triggered the end of human history. For his incredible act of courage and clear-headedness, Stanislav Petrov received no immediate reward. In fact, his actions were kept a state secret for over a decade. He was officially reprimanded for not following procedure and for failing to properly document the events in the logbook during the crisis. He was seen as an unreliable officer. But in the years that followed, as the story came to light, the world came to know him as the man who saved the world. Historians and security experts agree that if a different officer had been on duty that night, one who was more by the book, the world would likely be a very different, and much darker, place. It's a chilling reminder of how close we came to the brink, and how the calm judgment of one individual prevented a global catastrophe. Stanislav Petrov passed away in 2017, a humble man who never saw himself as a hero, but his story is a powerful testament to the importance of human intuition in an age of technology, and a lesson we should never forget. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as incredible as we did, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more incredible stories from history. We'll see you in the next one.